Hey everybody, welcome to my third fragrance video here on YouTube. Today I will be talking about not these fragrances, not reviews of these, but the topic that you clicked on the video for. How many sprays of fragrances in general should you use? And that will depend on these topics: strength of the fragrance, situation you'll be in, likability of the fragrance, what season you're in, and how much money do you want to spend, because every spray costs a little bit of money. So let's get to the point. First of all, the strength of the fragrance. You know the different concentrations: EDT, EDP, Parfum, Elixir. Yes, that is all different oil concentrations, but that does not dictate the strength of the fragrance. It does not, because there are some EDT fragrances that are stronger than Parfum concentration fragrances. That's just how things go. So you can't really use that as a basis. You have to get the fragrance after you do research on it, maybe test it, and you have to figure out how strong the fragrance is, how much it radiates off of you. So, my baseline for any fragrance is going to be 7 sprays. I always do 7 as a baseline. And that's just for going around anywhere, doing anything. Sitting in a car with somebody for a bit, going on a date, which I don't ever do. It'd be really cool. I'm not getting into it. But anyway, strength of the fragrance. If it's not as strong, you want to spray more of it. This Victory Elixir is not as strong as Royal Tobacco. This one still projects pretty good, but it is not as strong as this one. So let's get to it. So you spray more if it's not strong, and you spray less if it is strong. My baseline is 7. Let's get to the situation you will be in. That depends on, so you might be in the car with somebody for a while, you might be in close quarters with a lot of people, or you might be walking around in stores and walking in the mall, or just walking around in public. If you're in close quarters with somebody, you want to use less sprays. If you're going to be sitting in one spot for a while that's in a closed space, you need to use less. You always want to use less if you're in a close quarters situation. But if you're walking around in public, you might want to step it up to 10. That's because less people will have opportunities to smell you in the first place. So 10 is good if you're going out in public on just a good temperature day. That's just on the average. This still all depends on the strength of the fragrance. If it is very strong, of course you want to use less. But if it's not that strong, you need to use more. If you're going out in public and people won't have as many chances to smell you, you need to use more. All right, likability of the fragrance. How easy to like is the fragrance? If you do spray too much, are people going to be offended, or will they be fine with it because it's an easy to like fragrance? This kind of allows you to spray a bit more. With this one, if I spray too much of that, it's going to be pretty okay. Like, people aren't going to be really offended. They'll just think it smells gorgeous because it is an easy to like designer vanilla fragrance. However, this one, if you spray too much of this, is a challenging fragrance. I love it. I think it's amazing. It smells gorgeous. But when I first smelled it, I did not like it as much as I thought I was going to now. And this is going to be the case with somebody else, everybody else. Nobody else has smelled something like this. They are not ready for this type of scent profile to hit them in the face. So that's why this one you have to spray a bit less in case people smell you and you give them some space to like it or not. If you overspray this, they won't have the ability to make up their mind. They're going to be suffocated by it, and therefore they might get offended. Okay, that covers that. And what season you're in, obviously. I will never use this in anything over 50 degrees, first of all. This one can be worn at around 50 degrees and a little bit up. It's pretty much can cover all seasons except for the warmth. Like, you don't want to wear this in really warm weather, but you still can if you wanted to. It wouldn't be offensive to people. This one right here, I mean, fragrances in general, you need to spray less in the warmth because it pushes it off your skin. The oil, the thick parts of what is in these is going to be pushing off your skin more. So you do less sprays when it's summertime. But if it gets very cold, like it's 0 degrees here right now, you want to step it up because people aren't going to smell you because the cold holds in that oil and keeps it from radiating off of your skin. And therefore you might want to step it up to maybe 15. That's for this one as an example right here. Some might be stronger. You might only need to keep it down. Once again, I'm back to it. It depends on how strong your fragrance is. You have to figure that out. But for me, I will step up that one personally to 15. And even this one. This one isn't a beast mode fragrance. If you see reviews on this, they're going to say it's beast mode. It is not absolute beast mode or whatever they say. It performs good. You don't have to worry about performance. But it's not something you just spray 2 sprays of and everybody's like, oh my gosh, it's so strong, I don't know what to do. This one, in the wintertime, I spray about as many sprays as I would with this because it's ready for the cold. This is a cold weather fragrance. So this one, if I'm going to walk around at Walmart, just be chilling, walking around in different stores, I'm not afraid to use about 8 or 9 sprays. It'll be fine. People won't really smell you that much. Like, it doesn't really burst off your skin like they might have led you to believe. Though it is very elegant and it smells gorgeous. So yeah, on average, for any fragrance that's a sweet designer, I'll step it up to 15, maybe even 20. Because they're just not going to smell you at all if you don't spray enough. But then that comes down to here. Is it a cheap fragrance or is it an expensive fragrance that you're spraying on yourself? Because say if I spray 20 sprays of this cost me $150. I got it on a good sale. 20 sprays of this is 2 milliliters. And that goes, how much does 50 go into 150? That's 3. So I use about $3 every time I use 20 sprays of this. If I use 10 sprays, it costs me $1.50. You had to be aware of that. You don't want to go through your fragrances that fast. I mean, if you're not worried about going through your fragrances fast, then don't be worried about this. Just spray as much as you want and enjoy it. I really support that if you can afford it. Just spray as much as you want of any fragrance and just enjoy it as it is. I mean, within reason. Don't be choking people out. Okay. So this all comes to the conclusion of, it's all about you. It's all about what you are comfortable with. Because this is different for everybody. You get some people in this space who say, you can't do more than 3 sprays. I don't think that makes sense, because if you like a fragrance, you should want to use it to where people can smell you. But if that is what makes you happy, then do it like that. But if you want to be smelled, you want to go a bit higher. And that's depending on your situation, what the season is, how easy to like the fragrance is. You have to figure these things out. And that gets to my point. There's no perfect amount. That's why I had that covered, because it's like a, woo, we had it covered. But yeah, there's no perfect amount. You have to decide this. You spray enough to where you want to be smelled after you figure out this strength of the fragrance, and that tells you how many sprays depending on all this. So that can vary depending on what you're wearing and your body type and the temperatures. So spray as much as you need to get to the level of density that you want on yourself, and then that's the right amount of sprays. Thank you for watching my video. I'm glad you're here. I'll be posting some more reviews on different fragrances soon, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for being here again.